Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MaxspeedTV. Tonight on tap, we have for you the Step Out Walk to Stop Diabetes 100. That tonight is brought to you by Empire Sim Racing. And we will get a moment to talk to Mr. AJ Hamill, one of the guys that is in charge of putting on tonight's race. There's his car on pit road, pulling off right now. So very big shout out to AJ Hamill for the purchase of tonight's race, the Step Out Walk to Stop Diabetes 100. Again, my name is KR Stolfus. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Hope everyone is as excited as I am to be here. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? Woo! There it is. Gotta give a big shout out to simspeedshop.com. Want to make sure that we let you all know that we appreciate what simspeedshop.com does for us. Builds amazing button boxes, so check them out. If you are in need of a button box, check out simspeedshop.com. HREmotorsports.com. This is an iRacing team that supports MaxspeedTV, and we support them as well. So appreciate all the support we get from HREmotorsports.com. Check them out there and see what is going on within that iRacing team. Another iRacing team to check out is Elite 7 Racing. You can find them on Facebook. And the Ohio IndyCar League. If you're after an IndyCar series, check out the Ohio IndyCar League. These guys, are going to put on a good show. They're going to be broadcasted right here on MaxspeedTV as well. But enough about that. This is Racing for a Cause. Max Speed, when will you use the new Fox tracker and not the NBC Sports? We like our layout that we have now, our overlays. We have some new overlays in the works. And not everybody has the new overlays at MaxspeedTV yet, but we got a lot of new stuff coming as far as overlays go. So looking really sharp, looking really good. Just not dispersed everybody yet. So qualifying about ready to take off here. Peyton Johnson going to be the first car out of the gates here. While we got a moment, let's go ahead and talk about our points here in this series. Currently led by Troy Radford. Troy won last week's race. AJ Hamill's only 8 points behind him. Andy Lambert in third, 9 points back. And Justin McDuff, 11 points, tied with Al Smith. Those guys getting a great first race in, but here we are, race number 2. Peyton Johnson going to be across the line, the first one. Johnson with a 22.148. So Johnson getting it done here so far. Now he's dropping to second. Justin McDuff currently on pole with a 21.991. So good lap by him. Justin McDuff running that Locks of Love 20 machine. McDuff sliding back to fourth. AJ Hamill currently on pole. He's already shutting it down. Brian Rogers in second with a 21.912. Hamill first with a quick time of 21.906. Douglas Johnson in the 8 machine sitting 12th place. Phil Otto shutting it down. We're getting a lot of them, catching a lot of them as they're shutting it down. I apologize for that. Trying to get through everybody. Jeffrey Clifton here in 7th place right now. Clifton running that 15 machine. He's shutting it down now. Jackson Lewis, who was a hard charger last week. Here he is in his second appearance with Racing for a Cause. Sean Cool shutting it down. Michael Beamish out on track. He's going to put it up into third. 21.847. He's shutting it down. That looks like it might do it for qualifying. So real quick, we're going to go over the schedule here. And last week's winner, Troy Radford, winning at the Bull Ring, but at USA Speedway, that's today, 100 laps, as you can see there. And then next week is Lanier for 125, so make sure you guys join me for that one. Everyone stick around, have a good time for that. But as we like to do here at MaxspeedTV, we will step away for just a moment, so everyone please join me as we do our national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you very much for standing with me at the national anthem. But here we go. The field is getting lined up. So let's go through our starting lineup with our Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Doug Johnson and wow, no, that is not the right one. Riley Stimjim on pole in the Walls Beard Co. with Jackson Lewis on the outside. Row 2 is Michael Beamish. In the 40 machine, Sean Cool. That's messed up too. Why is it all screwy? Alright, you know what? We're going to wing it here. The 77 machine, Riley Stingham on pole. Outside of him is the 7 of Jackson Lewis. The 40 of Michael Beamish. And the 24 of Sean Cool. My sheets just are not updating very well, and I apologize for that. 21 of Ricky Harden out of Trinity, North Carolina with the Special Olympics car. 12 machine out on track, Brian Rogers. Third row outside, AJ Hamill out there, the 18. This is really hard to do with everything not working. I deeply apologize. Troy Radford did not take a qualifying time as he won last week, so he will be starting shotgun on the field. Here we go, green flag in the air. And Riley Stinjun getting a good jump there. Looking at the 40 of Michael Beamish here. He's on the inside of Sean Cool. Sean Cool, no slouch to running up front and or victory circle. You see AJ Hamill underneath the 12 of Brian Rogers. Check in on last week's winner, Troy Radford. He's got to come through the field. He's in the number 94 machine. I'm going to be watching him tonight. Currently scored 16th. Looks like he's running a little bit of the high line there. Got the 45 of Douglas Wysocki in front of him. Wysocki running the Make-A-Wish paint scheme tonight out of Belleville, Michigan. Also want to check in on the 96 machine of Al Smith. Al Smith, one of the guys that I enjoy talking to, have raced a lot against him. Has me a little bit of suckered into his, oh, I don't know what you'd say. I enjoy talking to this guy. Very pleasant individual. Looks like he's already got a little bit of bumper damage on that machine. And in front of Al Smith is Andy Lambert in the 70. So just like that, 7 laps come and gone. The 22 machine, Mike Holtzclaw, out of Limestone, Tennessee, BG Products, onpitroad.com sponsor machine. Oh, Smith sideways. Gathers it back up, no caution. So we're still on our way. Riley Stinjun still out front. Jackson Lewis right behind him. Sean Cool in the 24. These 3 drivers all pretty much nose to tail. So we go on board right now on the roof of Sean Cool. Right on that bottom line, this Rochester, New York, Pink Ribbons rider, breast cancer awareness driver. Get a good shot of how kind of you have to drive this track, and you want to get right on that bottom here. A lot of speed, a lot of grip on the bottom right now. But as the laps get long, we might see him move up half a lane or so, but you know, this isn't a track that lends itself to the high side very often. So you might see him up half a lane, maybe just 1 lane, but not much more than that. So we got some side-by-side action here between the 21 of Ricky Harden and Michael Bramish. Ricky Harden out of Trinity, North Carolina. Bramish out of Eagan, Minnesota, running the Northern Racing products. So that 40 machine looks like it's got a little bit of damage on the right front. Easy to do here. As long as you don't knock the toe, this isn't a very aero-dependent track. You're very slow through these corners. You gotta get it slowed way down to get through them. On the brakes early, a lot of cars will be on the brakes about that stoplight that we saw coming into turn 3. Maybe if not a little bit sooner. Definitely a lot sooner for the light that's at turn 1. Do a quick check on Troy Radford, last week's winner. Here he is moving through the field, sitting 12th place right now. Got plenty of time to work his way carefully through the field. But in front of him is the 85 machine of Peyton Johnson. Johnson looking very solid so far tonight, running 11th place. Got 17 of 100 laps right now. Haven't got to talk about him yet, but the 81 James McIntyre is out there. Currently under a little bit of pressure from Al Smith and the 96 machine. My other buddy that's out there, Wayne McDuff. This guy, he's a character, I tell you. Currently running 15th in that 4 machine. Wayne McDuff out of Hudson Falls, New York. Running the One Small Step cause. His brother is out there as well. That is Justin McDuff. We mentioned Justin a little bit earlier, running the Locks of Love 20 machine. And Phil Otto out here in the 66. So Phil Otto making a start here at USA. Hope to see him out here a lot more. Brightly colored pink and white machine, that is. Meanwhile, up front, we've been so busy watching everyone else. Sean Cool has managed to get around everyone. He has led 1 lap, so we just managed to miss him making the pass for the lead. So Riley Stinjim has led 20. Now Sean Cool has led 2 as we start lap 23. And Sean Cool looks like he's starting to open up a little bit of a gap here. Maybe having a touch of a long run car. This is Sean Cool really opening up a gap now. His last lap was a 22.569 compared to Riley Stinjin in second with a 22.694. So just over a tenth a lap faster that time. That's why you're starting to see that gap open up. AJ Hamill sitting in 4th place right now. We got about 4 cars here, 5 cars, nose to tail, all battling for 2nd place here. Jackson Lewis in that 7 machine. Jackson Lewis out of Lakeville, Minnesota, running the hashtag Pay the Bills cause, race car machine, whatever you want to call it. Still working on some smooth phrasing for that. Teammates with Riley Stinjim, those 2 good buddies I hear, they're working together. This is their opening season with Racing for a Cause, and they have come out in force. They have led laps and have been a threat to win in both races that we've had so far. Well, I guess this is the start of the 2nd race. We're on lap 29 of 100. Justin McDuff in the Locks of Love 20, sitting in 7th place still. Got a little bit of gap. He's all on his lonesome, so he can run his own laps. Michael Beamish in that 40 still has a little bit of damage on that right front. Haven't had a yellow yet, so he hasn't been able to go in and work on it, but it's probably nothing too detrimental. As we're watching Moik Holtzclaw work this outside lane. Andy Lambert on the inside here. Holtzclaw going to cut down in front of the 94 Troy Radford. Radford managing to get around Peyton Johnson. So very slowly and methodically making his way to the front. Al Smith looking to the inside of Peyton Johnson there, so far not making the pass stick. Radford to the inside of Holtzclaw here. Looks like he's going to clear him, maybe bring along Peyton Johnson. Johnson's going to stay right on his tail here. But no, they're all going to tuck in. Well, I take that back. Al Smith to the inside of Johnson. The 22 machine of Holtzclaw freed up to tuck in right behind Troy Radford. But now Johnson and Smith are duking it out. So Smith gonna tuck in behind Johnson right there. And these guys get straightened up back into single file. Meanwhile, up front, Sean Cool has about a 0.866 second lead. And I say about, because it's about to change again as he goes across the start-finish line. And it does now to 0.766. This group of cars here, they've all been running pretty close to nose to tail. 21 of Ricky Harden getting in on the action as well. Sean Cool has led the last 16 laps. Riley Stinjim has led 20 so far. But the way this is going, looks like Sean Cool is going to surpass Riley for the laps led at this point. Most laps led. Andy Lambert in the 70. The 40 of Michael Beamish. These guys going at it here. Troy Radford managing to make it into the top 10. Hoping to do a repeat win, but his work is cut out for him. All the fenders look nice and straight on that car, so he's worked his way through the field without having too many issues. A little bit of house cleaning. Douglas Johnson and Jeffrey Clifton have pulled behind the wall and loaded up to head home. So those guys with an early exit here in the step out walk to stop Diabetes 100. So Justin McDuff still running in this little spot he's found all by himself. Andy Lambert starting to pull away from Michael Beamish now. Thinking about tracking down Justin McDuff. Sean Cool, Riley Stingeon, looks like those guys have closed the gap a little bit. The 7 of Jackson Lewis still in third, so our front 3, 4, 5 cars, 6 cars hasn't really changed. The only thing that has changed is the gap between them. It looks like Riley is really starting to close up on Sean. Yeah, these they forgot to install the brake lights and tail lights. What they did do is they put a sticker there as a placeholder, and then they forgot all about actually installing them there, kid. So there's your leaders. You're riding along now with our T&D Rustic Decor Cam, Riley Stingeon sitting here in second, Sean Cool out in front of us. You can see they just dive it off into the turn here. A little bit of a late apex for Sean Cool, but it's allowing him to get a good run down the straightaway here. So Douglas Wysocki getting lapped here. settles in behind the 21 of Ricky Harden. Up front, still no change. Sean Cool. Cool has led 31 as we're past halfway. Riley Stingham still in second. Jackson Lewis, the 7 machine right there, he's sitting in third. AJ Hamill fourth, Brian Rogers fifth. That's gonna make your top 5 after 53 laps. Troy Radford has managed to get around the 40 of Michael Beamish, so he's gained another spot. But now the laps are starting to get short. We're past the halfway point. He's sitting ninth. He's got his work cut out for him. He might need a yellow or two to help him catch up to the leaders here, as he's about a corner and a half a straightaway behind Sean Cool. Gets that yellow and he will be caught up very nicely, but Sean Cool, he don't want a yellow. He wants to be out there. He wants this race to be over. He's led 36 laps. So everyone's starting to spread out here now that the laps have really gotten long. The setup's starting to take effect as to who has a good long run setup. Right now it's Sean Cool. Riley Stingham not letting him get too far away. Can't count him out of the race just yet. He's not counted out of the race. Can't count him out of the race victory. The 4 machine of Wayne McDuff has pulled it behind the wall once again and looks like he is packing up for the night. So we have 16 cars on track, 15 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the track is 16th place of the 45 machine, Douglas Wysocki. Brian Rogers in the 12. He's in a good bit of a little pressure here by Ricky Harden. I don't know what their fuel cap is. I think it's all open setup. If they get to a situation where they get a yellow, they can pit. I have seen them go the entire race without pitting, so I'm pretty sure that they have the chance to run a full fuel load. Now Andy Lambert under heavy pressure from the 94 of Troy Radford. Lap 63 of 100. Time is running out for Troy. If he doesn't get this yellow soon, he might not be looking at a repeat win. Tough challenge. One of the rules, and I think it's a great rule, if you win this season here in the Racing for a Cause late models, you don't get to qualify and you start tail end of the field. You don't take a qualifying time. So it makes for a little bit of a challenge trying to get through the field here. Riley Stingham making a move on the leader here as the leader of Sean Cool going around the 66 of Phil Otto. Thought maybe they were going to start battling back for the lead here. So the only one who can challenge Sean Cool for most laps led is Riley Stingham. And he's got about 10 laps to get around him before that chance is eliminated from him. Sean Cool has led a 46, Stingham 20. Radford managing to get around Andy Lambert. Setting his sights now in 6th place of the 21 machine, Ricky Harden. Harden has been about this far behind the 12 machine of Brian Rogers for the last 20 laps. Just can't seem to get around him, can't seem to gain on him. And Rogers not panicking, making some steady laps, consistently hitting his marks. Same could be said for AJ Hamill and Jackson Lewis. These two have been pretty much nose to tail all race. And neither one able to get underneath or an advantage over the other, I should say. But Sean Cool and Riley Stingham, those two, we've seen Cool's lead grow, and we've seen it shrink, and then we've seen it grow. And now it looks like Riley's starting to make some moves underneath. Maybe Riley was really just conserving his tires, waiting for the latter half of the race, which we're well and truly in, less than 30 laps to go. This could go from flag to flag, green the whole way. Checking in on Al Smith. Looks like he's got some extensive damage on that right front. Got into that outside wall at some point. The 20 of Justin McDuff has pulled behind the wall and loaded up and gone home. Mike Holtzclaw currently sitting in 10th place. Holtzclaw in the 22 machine. Currently on a lap 75 of 100. These two still nose to tail. Sean Cool, Riley Stingham. Riley running that hashtag pay the bills machine. You see these guys, man, it's really just a good show of not succumbing to any pressure, not hustling the car. So Sean Cool not too pressured by the 77 of Riley right there behind him. And Riley's not really hustling the car, trying to force a move. So what you're seeing is just some good old-fashioned log laps, wait for a mistake, because these two are running about the same speed. Now, as we get closer to the end of the race, we might see a little bit of the old bump and run given by Riley. He might get up into his back bumper. Just give him a little nudge. Might see that. Might not. Don't know. I don't have my time machine. My DeLorean's out of fuel. Radford sitting in 7th still. Checking in on him a lot, see if he can charge through the field. Get a repeat win. He did win last week. But so far is getting into the final 20 laps to go. And in desperate need of a caution, in my opinion, to get it done. He might find a little bit of a turbo boost somewhere. But man, he's pretty far behind to be able to get it done. Jackson Lewis and AJ Hamill, those two 3rd and 4th right now. You know, Jackson Lewis's fastest lap was a 22.101. His last lap was a 22.984. So really not a whole lot of drop off on that last lap. Coming around here, it turned a 22.945. So just about 0.8 of a second drop off. AJ Hamill, his best lap is a 22.277. He just turned a 22.976. So less than a second drop off here in these 84 laps. I think that's pretty good laps, pretty good consistency. And it just kind of lets you know you're really not abusing your tires here at this track. Track conditions are very, very nice. A lot of grip in the track still, as you see everyone's running the bottom. No one's really coming up off that bottom line. Ooh, man, don't know if he got on the wall or that was just some internet issues. It looked like the 77 might have just brushed the outside wall. We have less than 20 to go. Brian Rogers is pulled away from Ricky Harden. Harden had been hounding Rogers for a while, but now losing some ground to him. As I look through the score sheet here, pretty much almost every single driver has about a 0.7 of a drop off from their best lap to right now, 7 to 0.8. So that's why we're seeing a lot of nose to tail racing. These cars are still very well hooked up. No one has lost a lot of the setup or the grip, whatever you'd like to call it. They are all still heavy on the throttle down the straightaways. Letting off super early. You gotta let off a lot earlier than you think you need to for these cars here at USA. And then try and pick the throttle back up as soon as you can. And use that throttle to turn it. We are on lap 90 of 100. Really starting to wind down now. 10 laps to go. These two still nose to tail. Sean Cool doing a great job of fending off Riley. And Riley doing a great job of not taking out Sean, waiting for him to make a mistake. As we get into the final 10 laps here, that could really change. So again, less than 10 laps to go. We go on board with Riley, Stingem, and our T&D rustic decor. Ooh, looked like he got a little loose there. Gathered it back up. Gains on him just a little bit there through the corner. Looks like he's gotten a little loose at middle of the corner. So Riley definitely fighting a bit of a loose issue right now from middle of the corner on out. Here you see he's losing a little bit of ground, but man, he's getting into the corners very, very well. That time around, our fastest driver was Sean Cool with a 22.965. 22.965. Stingem was second with a 23.017. Five laps to go. Go find out what we got here. If Riley's gonna make the move, it has got to be now. Hamill losing ground to Jackson Lewis here. Lewis solidly in third place. We get into these final stages here. He's starting to open up a gap over Hamill. Rogers has found a little gap to ride around here. And Troy Radford just running out of time. In 7th place, right in front of him is the 21 of Ricky Harden. Behind Troy is the 70 of Andy Lambert. Lambert riding around in 8th place right now. Peyton Johnson, last car on the lead lap. But that's about to change right here. It's going to go high, let the leaders through. That's a tough break, Rick. I missed seeing you out here, man. And the yellow has come out. Al Smith has gone around. That is going to give the win to Sean Cool. I'm going to check the replay here. Al Smith coming out of turn 4, just got too low and looped it, and that's what brought out the yellow. But Sean Cool, checkered flag flying, coming around to get the win as we finish under caution after we did almost 98 laps. Green flag racing, there it is. Sean Cool getting it done. Riley finishing second, and Jackson Lewis gonna bring it home third. So great driving by all these guys to go 98 laps here at USA without a caution. So yeah, man, I gotta tell you, that was a great display of driving by all the guys, that no one had an issue until the very end. So let's see if we can't pull up our drivers for some interviews. So give me just a second while I work to get them in here. All right, we got one more to find, and then we'll get on with our interviews. Let's start with Sean Cool. Give the other drivers here a chance to get caught up with us. Mr. Cool, you got your ears on?
Yes, sir.
Man, oh man, what a race. You led this thing for 80 laps. Dominating performance. What in the heck you got underneath that machine that you're able to pull out this 80 laps led race win?
I wish I had secrets that I don't know. I really like these short tracks and the stuff that I've kind of been brought into racing and it's just a ton of fun. There's so much kind of technique and strategy to it and all that kind of stuff. And like today is you really got to be on your money. And I honestly didn't think I ran the pace that I needed to because today in the hot temperatures of an afternoon race at USA, these cars are real tight, and even when they get real rubbered in, they're real tight. I mean, they're definitely still fun to drive, but that makes it quite a bit more difficult. So I kind of wanted to be quite aggressive early and try and get out front, because I knew that if I could, when the cars were real hard to pass with and do stuff with later on in the race, I'd kind of have an advantage. So that was kind of the intention. I still think I went a little too hard once I got out front, because I didn't really have the greatest of car coming to the end of it. I mean, it was good. It was just not the pace I think I should have ran.
Well, your pace was good enough to win here, and like I said, in dominating fashion. So congratulations on that, man. What can you tell us a little bit about what you're carrying on your car tonight?
Yeah, so I have racing for KR. Normally I carry alongside with that. Normally I carry pink ribbon riders, all in conjunction with breast cancer awareness. It's really cool what these guys do here at RFC, at Racing for a Cause, with all these causes and all these great sponsors on the hoods of these cars and all over the cars. For me, it's a very special one. I don't know if people know, but my mother had breast cancer. She's now a 4 or 5 year survivor. I think she's 5 years. She just turned 5 years, which is amazing. But that was a rough time when she was going through that. So this is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. And so pink ribbon, as a big Skidoo snowmobile rider and everything, I put pink ribbon riders on the car. They're usually on my Xfinity car if you watch on Wednesdays or on Tuesdays, and they're also on this car on Wednesdays. And they do all kinds of different fundraisers and snowmobile rides and stuff like that for a lot of the guys up north that do a lot of snowmobile riding. And it's just a great cause and a great organization.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on your race win here, and we look forward to seeing you charging through the field next week as you have to start in the back.
Yes, sir. It should be fun. Thank you.
All right, man. So Sean Cool getting it done here. Led 80 of 100 laps. Your race winner. Man, congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving on now. Second place, Riley Stingen in the 77 machine. How you doing, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Hey, you led 20 laps. You led the first 20 laps. And then Sean Cool got around you, and we saw your lead his lead kind of grow and then contract and then grow and contract. What do you think your chances were if that yellow didn't come out? I was hoping for a little bit of bump and run.
Yeah, definitely. The yellow was kind of killed us again. I mean, Jackson had it happen last week too when he was running down Troy for the win. But I mean, that's part of racing on here. That's part of how it has to happen. I mean, we had a good car in the long run. I let him go early. I thought he was just going to kill his right front, because that's what killed me last week. So I was backing up my entry, trying not to slide my right front at all. And I came back to him there at the end. I was better than him off at 2, and he was getting me a little bit off of 4. I think I was better everywhere else, though.
Well, yeah, we watched a lot of onboard shots of you, and it looked like you were getting in the corners pretty good. But there at the end, it seemed like you were really getting a lot of loose from the middle on out. What were you feeling in there? Was that what was going on?
Yeah, they run a fixed setup in this league, and it's usually on the tighter side. So I was just clipping the apron on exit a little bit to help rotate the car to get up off the bottom, because that was really the only way I was going to get by him. Sean really wasn't missing his corner at all, and the only way I was going to get up by him was getting a better run center up off the bottom and getting to his quarter panel on entry.
Well, second place, nothing to sneeze at here in this league. Great job, led 20 laps. Any sponsors, people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank Team Pay the Bills, hashtag Pay the Bills. We had 3 of us out here tonight. We qualified 1, 2, 3, and then Jackson also finished 3rd. So it's been a fun league. We just joined it last week, and we've really been enjoying ourselves.
All right, man. Well, great job on second place.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's going to move us on to our third place finisher, Jackson Lewis. Mr. Lewis, how you doing out there tonight?
Pretty good.
Man, I got to tell you, you solidly in third place. Looked like you were there the entire race. Do you think maybe you needed a caution, something to mix it up a little bit, or were you kind of just content to run in third?
I needed tires, that's for sure. I saved quite a bit. Thought I had enough for him, and then AJ kind of pushed me a little bit, and I started burning up, and that's when Sean and Riley just pulled away from me. I had nothing for him after that.
Well, you had a kind of a rough week last time. We mentioned it in the broadcast how you couldn't find your rhythm. A lot of cars got by you, but here this time, man, you had a great race, and you didn't have to fight back to finish second like you did last week. You finished third here. Tell us a little bit about the 2 different weeks that you've experienced so far with RFC.
Well, I think the main factor of all that was really just qualifying. I mean, last week I qualified 11th, so I had quite a bit of work to do, but this week I qualified second and didn't have much anywhere else to go other than first, but I was pretty content with just riding them behind Stenny there, and then I don't know, we just kind of rode for a while. Sean got by us, and I just kept riding, and then I thought I saved enough. About 50 to go, I started pushing. I felt like they were pulling, and then, I don't know, right front was gone and couldn't turn, and she was going backwards.
All right, man. Hey, third place, though. Great race for you here. And, man, we look forward to seeing you week after week. A fun driver to watch, and got it done here for a final spot on the podium.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun race. Thank you, guys.
Any other sponsors, people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank hashtag Team Pay the Bills, just like Riley said. And then I don't have a cause on right now, but I'm actually going to put on his name was Mike Lemke. Mike Lumpy. He was our local tech official for the ARCA Midwest Tour. He recently passed away not too long ago, so I thought since I don't have a cause, might as well have a tribute to him.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing that skin make a surface here at Racing for a Cause, and when it does and you make it into the top 3, man, we'd love to hear about it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, Jackson Lewis getting it done. Third place here tonight. But we're going to move on now. AJ Hamill finishing 4th. Mr. Hamill, you finished 4th, but tonight's race was about your cause. So first of all, we want to thank you for sponsoring tonight's race, the Step Out Walk to Stop Diabetes 100. First of all, tell us a little bit about your race and what you were seeing out there.
I saw a lot of the 7s bumper.
We noticed that it seemed like passing was a little difficult tonight. Really, the only car that really made some moves tonight was Troy Radford, and he started dead last by virtue of winning the race last week.
Yeah, if you weren't Sean, you really had to either beat Troy and have guys move out of the way, or you know, we'll just be honest. There's some fellas back there that he's a little stronger than, and he's going to get by them. Or you had to figure out how to get a run down the straight, and all I could ever do was be exactly the same as the guys coming off the corners. I could gain on entry, but if you can't gain on exit, it really doesn't make much difference. So I just had to ride, and 40 got in the wall early, and I got to sneak by him. But after that, it was just hope Jackson or one of those guys popped the wall, but they didn't. So here we are.
All right, so here you are, 4th place. But now let's talk about what your cause is and what led you to sponsor tonight's race.
Sure. Well, I picked this track because I was hoping for a better finish, honestly. But I would have sponsored a track either way. But well, main primary sponsor, as usual, most weeks, is American Diabetes Association. Just a family battle. You know, a lot of Americans have that issue, but also a lot in my family. So pick that one out and like to fly those colors. And this week, though, I want to point everybody. Well, first of all, you got to step out. You got to get out and walk. People think walking isn't good. You got to run. You got to lift weights. They are wrong. Walking is really good for you. I did it. I'm a case study. Slashes all your numbers. Really healthy. Get out there and do it. I don't care if you're in shape, you got diabetes, you don't got diabetes. You want to be healthy, go walking. All right, public service announcement over. Different diabetes take on this. We got a new friend of the league, and they are slightly different take on diabetes issues, and their website is checkdon'tguess.org, and that's run by our new friend Brent Cool, and not a relation to Sean, spelled different. And that website was started because I'm telling his story here, but he's not here. He lost his son to DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, quick onset stuff the parents don't realize is going on until it's too late, unfortunately. And he was only about a year old. He was only a month younger than my daughter. And when I read that story, I couldn't even finish it. So let's bring a little awareness to those guys too. Checkdon'tguess.org. Go check them out. Good cause, different type 1 diabetes, but still in the family. And we're glad to have Brent as a new friend racing for a cause.
All right, well, Mr. Hamill, again, thank you very much for sponsoring this race. Glad we got to talk about what this cause was for tonight, and thank you for keeping your car out on track. We got some great shots of it, and everyone has some screenshots to save, I'm sure.
Yeah, if everyone didn't fall asleep after that.
All right, man. Well, again, 4th place. Congratulations on the race tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week as we go to... Where are we next week? I had it in my hand.
I'm afraid it's Lanier.
I just misplaced that. Unbelievable. All right, well, anyways, good luck next week. We'll be here same time, same place. So, man, hope to see you then.
We will see you next week.
All right, guys. That was AJ Hamill, the sponsor of tonight's Step Out a Walk to Stop Diabetes. Want to go over some of our sponsors here at MaxspeedTV, Ohio IndyCar League, HREMotorsports.com, Elite 7 Racing, and SimSpeedShop.com. We want to thank all of those people who support us here at MaxspeedTV. Our race winner was Sean Cool, followed by Riley Stingy, as we heard Jackson Lewis call him. Lewis was 3rd place. 4th, AJ Hamill. Brian Rogers, 5th. Ricky Harden's going to bring it home 6th. 7th, Troy Radford. 8th, Andy Lambert. 9th, Michael Beamish. And rounding out your top 10 is Mike Holtzclaw. In 11th place was James McIntyre. 12th was Peyton Johnson. 13th, Al Smith Jr. 14th, Phil Otto. And 15th, Douglas Wysocki. Peyton Johnson, Phil Otto, all finishing 1 lap down. Wysocki was 2 laps down. And then rounding out the field, these guys all unfortunately had to load up, go home early. Justin McDuff, 16th. Wayne McDuff, 17th. Doug Johnson, 18th. And 19th place was Jeffrey Clifton. So guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Hope everyone had a good time. I know I did. And I look forward to seeing you all next week, same time, same place, right here, Max Speed TV. Y'all have a good night.